Hello all and welcome to today's episode of The Virtual Arena. Joining me today is Dr. Vanise Zimmer, the founder of Elas, a neobank designed specifically for women over in Brazil. So Vanise, thank you so much for coming on our show. You're based over in the lovely Sao Paulo, am I correct?
Oh, first of all, thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to me to take part in your program. Yes, São Paulo is a beautiful city. It is situated in the southeast of Brazil. It's a very big city with 16 million people living here together. And we are most financial and commercial center of Brazil and South America, where we are very cosmopolitan city with different nationalities. Brazilian together are formed by different countries: German, French, Spanish, and Portuguese people, Japanese people that came here after the war. So we are very, very cultural from different perspectives.
I can imagine. I heard that there's the most amount of Japanese people outside of Japan are based in Sao Paulo. So I completely agree. And I mean, what does that mean when it comes to founding a bank? Your CV is pretty impressive. Can you tell me a bit more about yourself, your work and studies?
Well, okay, it's really interesting thing that I have changed so many areas and experienced the different perspectives of seeing the life and the society. I started to be a worker and a researcher as a chemistry. I worked in the industry for 5 years in the metal industry, and there I learned to research. I learned the method of research, but I was more interested in people and how people think and how people behave, how they take decisions. So I saw that that was not my business. So I changed my perspective and I started to study psychology, a baccalaureate in psychology. And then I turned in the master to the gender area. I started research work and the perspective of how people do the work. And it shows me that gender had a very important perspective in the way people do the things, the way suffer the conditions of work. And I started to be a gender researcher at that time. I did my master research in different ways that people do the work and how this difference make them sick. And at that time, I was invited to the University of German to move and help to construct the first woman international university, a project that took place in 2000, and it was formed by 900 women from 141 countries, different countries. All of us was there to research genders. And at that time, I also became more interested in the way people think. And I decided that technology had important work together with gender to design how people do and construct life, how they think, how they behave. And I decided to do my PhD in engineering production. And then I came back to Brazil and I started to research a male-dominated area, a male-dominated occupation, that is finance. So I researched how the financial traders took decisions, how they can deal with uncertainty. And I saw a very important gender work in this way of thinking, the way they took decisions, and the risk that they took or not took. So I researched gender and finance, and I saw no woman in this area. That made me really worried. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly an industry that obviously I've only been in for the last couple of years, but even in that time, I've seen that it's very male dominated. So is this something was this the kind of catalyst, the reason why you decided to start Elas?
Yes, a bit. I worked also with groups of women in different organizations, seeking the woman condition, how they can improve the woman. And one of the questions that were really relevant for me was that woman has no independence. they need to think about finance. They need to work with their own responsibility to the financial life, and that was not happening in Brazil for the classes, more lower classes, C and D, and then we have a really important responsibility in this sense. When my daughter was born, I was thinking, I have studied a lot, so I have to do something for the new generations. I was thinking that women could be benefited from learning finance and know how to deal with the financial market. And I found that many women, more than 45 million people, was out of the bank services and was out of the financial services out, because many of them have a bank account, but they use this just for little periods, only for getting the money when they are in the formal labor. But when they work in the informal labor, in the formal market, they do not get money and in the bank account. They get money in the hand, so they not use the bank account. They not learn how to save for the future, for the retirement, and they have not security. And also you can explain female violence by this sense, because the woman have to buy houses in the name of her husband or sons or the men that are living together with them, and they have no independence. When they suffer violence, they have to support, because they cannot leave the house because they will lose everything. So I decided that we have an important work in learning, teaching women how to deal with finance. And we decide, and if you do a bank only for women, teach them how to invest, teach them how to save money, how to work in their account and decide where to put the money, how to deal with money. It would be wonderful. So we decided to do a social project, a bank for women, a bank for poor and middle people, not for the rich.
Excellent. So I guess, would you say that Elas is primarily focused on trying to improve financial inclusion for women? And ultimately, are you looking at bringing new financial services to those women? For instance, investing, as you mentioned, later on using Elas as that platform?
All of this means that we are going to work in the female and woman inclusion in the finance, and financial inclusion is an important point in our bank. But we cannot do that if you not make these people capable to invest proficiently. So first we should teach them how to invest, how to open a bank account, how to use the computer, how to deal with the bank account. So we are going to make them capable to work in finance, to do finance. And then we need to make finance be important for them. And so we need to conceptualize and transfer this concept to them. And in that point, we was thinking that many of them are really much difficult. So we decide that if you work with artificial intelligence and we do a robot to operate the investment, it will be much more easy for them if they invest by the objectives they have in life. So you enter in the bank and you choose, I want to have a house, I want to have a car, I want to pay for my daughter university, I want to have money for my retirement. You just choose this one pick, and the computer and the robot will do everything for you. So it's what we are working on it. We are producing artificial intelligence, and we are the first bank in Brazil that are going to have a robot to women to invest and to choose the options of investment that they have to have to get in the objectives they want in the future.
We talked slightly about independence and being able to effectively allow women to create their own financial stability. How has COVID-19 impacted the banking needs of women since the lockdown, and a lot of women have potentially been stuck in houses with violent partners.
What happens here? The lower classes suffer much more because they are not familiar with using a computer, but they are familiar with using the telephone, the mobile telephone. You know, Brazil have the most extensive use of mobile telephone after United States. 80% of the population have a telephone and can use this. So if you do an app that they can use by telephone, it will be easy for the woman to deal with it. So what happened? Everybody stay at house. Everybody do homework now. So many people looked for apps and start to use the digital services to do everything that they do in the normal lives. It improved our access to the digital world. So economic became a digital world now. And it helped us. Many women open bank accounts now. Many women add to the app services. Now we extend our services for our population. It helped us not make damages because we are not so big now and we don't have many expenses. We started our business with our money, so we are pretty saved and security in this crisis. But there are some fintechs that are suffering, and probably some of them will disappear, but others will come on because they have had before the crisis venture capital, and then they are okay to working for 12 months or 2 years without having more investment. So it helped us, I think.
Apart from the robo-advisor, what other features will Elas have that you can offer to women?
Well, we have all the banking service. Bank as a service will be offered for the woman, a bank account, a credit card, a machine to pay locally, and we are going to use a QR code. We are going to add to Pix a way of payment that will be almost automatically 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, every year. So it will be operating very well. We are really improving the technology and we are up to date. So we are doing well.
Nice. So when will Elas be launching?
Okay. We were supposed to start in February, but as we saw the crisis, we told to us, let's wait 6 months, aprimorate ourselves, see how the women will deal with it. And then we can, and after seeing the situation, see how the government and the politicians will deal with the crisis here, we start because we have time, we are not still landing, so we can save ourselves of every problem that comes with COVID. And we aprimorate ourselves this time. And we are going to launch in September, and September will be up.
Brilliant. So not long now. So what are your dreams for Elas? What's next for Elas? Are you looking to go worldwide after you launch in September?
Oh, well, we think that helping the woman is a big dream. It's not easy work and it's a very responsible work. So we do not have aspiration to be worldwide or to be so big. We want to work in the Brazilian area, and we are a bit egoistic, and we think Brazil has still a lot of work to do, and to make women's lives better is huge. It's not easy. It will not be an easy work. So we are going to fight against some organizations that explore women, and we have a lot of work to do, just helping the woman with learning how to work with finance now.
Excellent. And I've got to ask, how did you choose the name Elas?
Okay, Elas is Portuguese name for she, and we did not think that we could find in any other name more assertive and more expressive than Elas, she.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I mean, it sums it up perfectly.
We assume that we want to help them. We
Yeah.
are not saying that we are not going to give places for men. Men can come, they are welcome. But everybody have to understand that woman needs a chance.
So men can effectively also become part of Elas too. They can use it.
For sure, even when they want to help us. So they are really welcome. So
Interesting. Well, thank you so much for your time. I think that's all we've got time for. And to all our viewers, thank you so much for watching. I hope that was really insightful for you. Vanise, it was very, very interesting for me. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you had a good time too.
thank you very much. It was really a pleasure to me. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And to all our viewers, you can catch the rest of the series and much more over at www.fintechf.com. See you next time.